So with Team B being stuck in the glamour world, or the dream world as it's known now, dealing with Dorothy, we've already seemingly found a weakness for her magical powers, even though it is seemingly near invincible what she can do in this dream world. Having someone like Sally and a bunch of the other people like Vanessa is like, this is going to be a very weird, like, I'd say, counterattack for how we're going to be dealing with her, because the fact of the matter is that we're dealing with this group of Vanessa, Magna, Sally, Luck, Charmy in here, and they literally cannot physically beat us, well, they seemingly beat her in her own realm. You actually have to trick Dorothy, from what we can be told from this chapter of Black Clover. So with 184, what we get to find out a lot is that, like, with what they like arrived with, so like, wait, what the hell, we're on a giant bed, there are things floating everywhere, they're like sweets, and like, it pretty much is like Alice in Wonderland kind of stuff. Like, it's like, what is this really trippy stuff that I'm seeing right now? And she, like, Dorothy is clearly explaining this thing. The impossible is is possible here, like with what you can see, and it's just like, it's got what, like, the bed suddenly turns into a bunch of fruits and everything, and it's just like, even though it's like everything is according to her whim, like she makes this weird like elephant thing, like it looks like that Pokemon like kind of thing. I know it's like based off some sort of like mythology or something like that, where it's like the kind of the Dream Eater one, where it's like it goes in there and it starts like devouring them from the bed, and it's like, oh yeah, like this is where you're gonna sleep for a whole like good night for eternity. And interesting enough, Vanessa, like, entirety of the Fred magic, where it's like this thing, like this whole little thing with this cat, is defying reason, and it's like, we need a way to like counter this, and it's like, I cannot like defy this, like they can still seemingly use their powers around here. And it's like, even when like Sally's like, it's like, what is with this world, like, you know, if they're a single major cast, like something like this and all that is top class, and it's like this cat as well, like she's like there trying to research everything, and it's just like, I see and all that, like, oh, to see what this is all doing. It's like the dream magic, the Fred magic and all that, these witches, which, you know, I guess another thing kind of confirm as well is that, yeah, she's a witch as well, which I think a lot of people were kind of guessing from her design as well, is that she was literally, like, if not one of the old original witches and everything. So generally, when I thought about this one, when I was like going down to these late episodes, like especially with the manga as well, where it's like, wait, so what exactly is Dorothy then? Because she was the one character that we never got to see anything apart from just like, oh, she's sleeping all the time, don't worry about her, she's surely nothing serious will ever happen to her. And here it's like, yeah, she probably was from one of those top classes witches, and she probably left, like how a lot of people did. Like, she was probably the first before Vanessa like kind of came in, and it's just like, I don't want to deal with the Queen, I don't want to deal with anything, I kind of want to have my own sort of personal deal. So I hope we actually get to find a lot more about her, because again, like, even with the bits that we know in her elven form, we still don't know majority of like why exactly did she join like the Clover Kingdom, like what is her whole ordeal. And even, well, like Sally even comes up with the idea, it's like Luck and Magna are trying to throw things like at all these defenses and everything, and it's like, no, that isn't even gonna work. And it's like, wait, she's gonna conjure up like water and fire, and it's like, wait, those still have the same properties right now, like, so you can actually make them explode, like combining it and all that, like with like shooting like this lightning magic into the water, then Magna as well, making like this static explosion. It's like actually able to, like, this could have been able to like throw a chance to damage it, where it's like, she is thinking of things, whether she creates something in this dream world, it has the same structure and compositions as so what she imagines. So in other words, and all that, if we can kind of use this around her and all that, and she's unable to control anything from like magic and everything, so she has to be put on the like on the defense, it's still going to be difficult, because again, she does know barriers and magic, and like she is like a very like more trickster. And then there's the second part of her magic where she can create anything in this reality. However, she does have the ability as well as that the more and more you stay in this realm, the more sleepier you're gonna get, and with the big suspense of you are never gonna wake up again. Like, if you're in this glamour world and all that, you're just gonna get sleepier and sleepier, and those that fall asleep are not gonna wake up again. So everyone is there, like, pinching their faces, like holding them on like that, like Mark just like ripping his face like apart. He's like, no, I need to stay up, so come on, like he's like holding it down. And it's like, even Sally's like, alright, look, I'm so tired, and it's now making us tired, like an absent mind, we need to do something with this. And she comes up with this weird idea about, like, you know, wait a minute, hey, like, and all that, like, hey Dorothy, she goes like, and does like the glasses thing. It's like, what are these, like, you know, pointing like, she's doing like the glasses sign. It's like, what are these little things I've got here? And then it's like, the correct answer is glasses, and it's like, oh, it worked. And it's like, wait, what? And it was like, so Sally is able to like kind of conjure up these like little spectacles that she has, and it's like, what exactly I'm looking for right now is like whatever she thinks of, or like whatever is popping in her mind and all that, is I can actually conjure up. So she pulls the glass and she's like, I'm looking for the exit, like make an exit, and it's like she can't block that out of her mind. It's like once something pops in your mind, like in your head, it's usually really difficult to wipe it from your consciousness, and it's just like, oh, she's only invincible here, but if we get back to our own world, we've actually got a chance to defeat her. So it's more of like that we can't defeat Dorothy in her own realm. In fact, we just have to run away as like massive amounts of conjuring doors just all appear around her. And it's like, so the only way that is seemingly viable to defeat her is not by raw power. It is just by actually you need to trick her, and you need to like kind of play her again. So like everyone just screaming in her head, like saying you need to actually make a door, make an exit. You could even say like, I wish you were dead. Like you could have even done stuff like that. But it's like, no, we're not. This is PG at the end of the day, or it's like more like, we're not gonna just kill off a captain like that. But it's like, that's how you say it. It's like, oh, I wish you were sealed forever. Like, you know. Or like, you know, go kill yourself. Like, you can just do stuff like that, like in her realm. So it's powerful, but it is easily the most flawed just due to the fact of the user itself, where it's like, you can't, if like this wasn't for the fact that it's like, you know, Sally is actually able to use her head, and the same thing with the fact that like they was managed to get away, because with Vanessa's, you know, it's pretty much like plot string armor, like if anything, with like the cat, although it does have its limitations as well, because it drains so much mana from her. You can cheese this out. Like, it's just the fact of the matter is like we've got all these entirety of these doors everywhere, and it's like, okay, so we need to actually get there, get into the realm. Once we get into the physical realm, we actually need to put Dorothy down for good. So I think that's what's going to be happening next week, is that we're going to be getting that kind of scenarios where we're going to get out of here. Alright, you need to take care of Dorothy, knock her out in the real world, and I'd definitely say her powers are very interesting. Finally happy that I was able to get a little bit more description on her, and the fact that Sally's actually being quite useful in this encounter as well. Like, they wouldn't have survived this if it wasn't for her, and like same thing with like Vanessa as well, and like everyone kind of using their heads together. So it's a nice kind of weird little team up of Magna, Luck, Charmy, Vanessa, Sally. I think that's a very weird like 5-group unit to have on there. But then we got like everyone else with Valtos and like all the rest of the Rades and like all those guys. So I'm curious like when we get back to Team Asta's like group as well. I think we could probably conclude this stuff maybe next week or the week after, so we're going to wait and see how long we're going to be dealing with Dorothy, like one of the captains on there. But let me know you guys in the comments down below what you thought about this chapter of Black Clover, though. I thought it was very interesting, at least with the fact of Dorothy's magic and like the utility of it, like what you could actually use about it. Like, you could do endless stuff in this world. So overall pretty fascinating. But that is all for me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys though next time.